Hello guys, my name is Precious and I'm here with Flowshop TV to show you how the light affects a person's face. So like, comment and subscribe and share.
Okay, so today's video I'm going to be using the Aputure Amron M9. That's it right here, and I'm just going to be using this for demonstration purpose. By no means should you light someone's face with a very small light source, unless you want to modify it and make it bigger to like softboxes or like umbrellas or something of the sort. But just so I can have a lot of contrast between the light and the shadows and shape the person's face and show you how dramatic the effect is, I'm using a small light. So this is just for demo purpose. Alright, so the first thing obviously is if you move the light very close to your subject, you're going to get very harsh shadows opposite the source of light. So if you're looking at your face right now, you notice this part of her face is very bright and then the shadows are falling on the opposite side, right? But from the same position, when I move the light further back, you're getting a better gradation of light and shadow and mid-tone on her face. So even though the shadows are a bit strong, it's softer than before. So I'm just going to demonstrate it again. So this is very close and this is when it's further away. You also notice that it's coming in from an angle, so it's about 45 degrees to her face, right? And that is how come the shadow is falling all the way to the other side. If I bring it right to the center, right, so it's in the middle, you notice all the shadows are going right under her chin. If the light goes further up, the shadow gets longer, and then we are beginning to see the shadows right under her eyes, her nose, and then her lips as well. All right, and the same thing applies. If I bring the light closer, we get a hot spot and we get very deep shadows. But if I pull the light further back, we're getting a much softer and pleasant look. So in the same way, if you're using a very big modifier, if it's closer to your subject, you're going to get a very soft and broad light source and you're going to get deeper shadows. But when you pull it away, everything just softens up. In the same way, if I move the light all the way to the side, now we're getting something that we call split lighting. So one half of her face is in deep dark shadow and the other half is bright. But the same thing applies. When I move the light further back, you notice that we are getting a bit more of an even lighting. So even where the shadow isn't as dark and deep as it was when the light was close. So I'm going to demonstrate that again. So I'm bringing the light closer and you can tell the other part is really deep and dark and the opposite side is very bright. But when I move the light source further back, everything just becomes a little bit softer. Alright, again, you wouldn't want to ever light anyone from beneath. I know sometimes people do this for dramatic effects and like I'm sure you see them in horror movies and stuff, but typically you wouldn't want to do this. I would want to do another demonstration just to show you when you can use another light source from beneath. Okay, so like I demoed earlier, there was this light beneath that looked very horror-like, and I'm just going to turn on the light from above. So now we have two light sources, and the moment I turn that up, you notice we're getting a very nice and balanced light. So the one from beneath is just acting as a fill light, and the one from the top is the key light, which is lighting up the subject. So the same thing, if we bring both lights closer, you notice that the lower light is also getting a little bit more powerful. And the same thing with the main light, we're getting a very harsh light. But when everything goes further away and we soften it, it looks just a little bit more pleasant. Again, we're using very small light sources, so everything is going to be exaggerated. It's just because I want you guys to be able to see the effect as it happens. That is why I am doing it this way. Alright, so when it comes to rim lighting your subject, I want to talk a little bit more about that. So rim lighting is just when the light is coming in from a little bit behind so that you can edge or cut your subject out of the background. So you notice I am Okay, so let me just bring it into the frame. So this is where I am, and then I am just moving a little bit further back. So you notice the further I go, it's more or less like the light is coming up to the front. Okay, let's turn off the lower light so you just see the front light. Okay, so we have this rim light. The more I go behind here, the thinner it gets, right? And then if I go all the way to the back, we're even illuminating more or less both sides of the model. So when it comes all the way to the side like this, we're getting a very nice rim light. And the same thing applies. When I bring the light closer, we're going to get this very unpleasant looking light. But then when it goes further back, we just get this thin edge light hitting the model. And we can do the same thing to the other side. I can't walk all the way there, but you get the idea. Alright, so basically this is all I wanted to show you. Hopefully I should be able to get combination. So just increase the power of this light for me, the lower one. Are you sure you're increasing it?
Oh my God.
Okay, so I'm going to take this and make this my main light now. Just like that. And I'm going to bring in this as a rim light. So most of the time if you want to do a 2 light setup, this is basically how it's going to look. Also, you don't have to let the main light come in right from the middle. You can bring it a little bit off to the side so that if you have your main light coming in from this side, right, and then you have this deep dark shadow on the side of her face, you can just add in a rim light so that you're able to separate your subject a little bit more from the background. So if I want to show you how you can also use 2 rim lights, it's just about the same thing. Let me just add that. So both lights, when they're right behind the model, that's how it's going to look. And I'm just going to gradually move it to the side. And then we have both rim lights as well. Okay. One other thing I want to talk about is light feathering. I don't know if this is going to be very visible, but if you have, so I want to put this in the frame just so we have an idea. Okay, so right now the light is pointing directly at the model. Okay, but when I start tilting the light itself down, okay, so let me just demo. So this is how I was pointing the light. Will it focus? Okay, this is how I was pointing the light to the model. And I'm going to feather it by just turning it all the way down like that. So instead of it going straight to the model, it's going to be pointing down. And some of the rays, because when I tilt it just like this, you notice it's not a straight line coming out of the light source. We have some strays coming out this way. So I'm going to be lighting here with the strays, not with the direct light. So this is direct. When I start tilting it, it's going to be a little bit softer. And you notice that there's less light hitting the backdrop. Again, if I raise the light up, we're going to get it even softer. And then you can decide to bring in a reflector to fill in your light or things of that sort, like however you want it, if you don't want it as dramatic as this. But again, when I am shooting beauty, I always want to bring my light a little bit from an angle and then find the correct spot, looking at the shadows, where it's falling. If it's falling under the nose, if it's falling under the chin, if it's exactly where I want it to be. I also don't want it to be too low because it's going to be direct, which is unflattering. I always want it to be a little high up with the shadows cast down, and I'll just find a position as to whether I want it to be right in the middle or a little bit off to the side, and then I can add a rim light if I need to.
We hope you liked the video. Once again, comment, like, and subscribe. Bye-bye.
Out of the subject. Don't laugh.
The subject.
Don't laugh. So yeah, that's just about it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe.